Wait, another keep out? Can I clear it with Kano now? Can I finally jump to him or? Oh, Tateno doesn't have a clear out anymore. Keep out, rather. So let's see if I can continue. Fuck, stuff is really heating up. We kind of slowed down because of me getting stuck, but we're finally back on track, I think. Were you able to break through? Yes. We know it's Kajiwara. I'm sorry, Kajiwara. We have to power through this just now. It's one thing I criticize about this game. A lack of skip option, or the weird as fuck skip option you have to do with the text log. It could really be better. Also the flow chart, the time chart, sometimes a bit confusing with where's the jumps and where's the decisions and where do they lead to. It could be a proper flowchart where you see dead ends, you know? A real flowchart. What game did this do well? I think as shit as it was, Zero Time Dilemma did this alright. Okay, it's the keep out. We got it back again. So we got 2 keep outs at the same time. Both for Jack and Tateno. We did this jump already. Let's see if we can do the... Oh, fuck. We have to do this stuff again, apparently. I mean, I changed so much that I apparently have to go through this shit again. Reach the bad end one more time, because game, I haven't reached it enough before, apparently. Can I skip all of this? No. Ah, this is the bad thing. You're switching one thing up and it's one new sentence, and instead of putting you to the new sentence, you have to go through all of it again. I've complained about this so much while playing this game. I'm sorry if you're annoyed at me complaining. Anyway, there's Suzumu again and Lilon Palmer, the creepy Alphard motherfucker. Even though I don't think he really is Alphard. There we go, the vials of the UR virus. Everyone watched in dismay, yes. Look out! And she shouted, catch him, catch him! Almost at the point where I can jump to Stanley again, as soon as the explosion rings out, or rather, shortly afterwards. Ooh! I have a new choice with Kano. He had to protect the lives of the people nearby, or he had to chase after Palmer. Why do I have a new choice now? This is new, definitely. So let's protect the lives of the people nearby. I don't care about him. As much as he wanted to apprehend this criminal, he couldn't sacrifice innocent people to do it. Is this new? I think it is, yeah. Kano caught one of the vials deftly in both hands. Did it break still? Or what about the other ones? What if we all caught them? Carefully he examined it for damage. Seeing that the vial didn't appear broken, he let out a sigh of relief. Then he looked around for Palmer, but there was no sign of him. Damn it! The mastermind had gotten away. Wait, where's my jump to... Well, maybe it'll explode anyway, but where's my jump to Stanley? Vanished without a trace. Amidst the frenetic crowd of the scramble, a lone criminal could blend in an instant, becoming just another pedestrian. Trying to find him now would probably be a hopeless endeavor. Is this another bad end? Holy shit, I unlocked another bad end. Failed capture, this is a new one at least. Damn, I don't have to cut this now. So let's see if we can change anything with Achi and what happens with Achi. I mean, again, Alphard's composure, this is just a bluff. I guess he tries to get away after all, right? After throwing it into the air. Now we have to look at Suzumu's ugly face again in a second. No? Okay. I guess Archie skips over most of this stuff. So there's the vial throwing, it's gonna stop, there we go. When sailing high into the air, look out, catch him, catch him. Gotta catch them all, otherwise we're all dead. It's a way higher risk than playing Pokemon. They had to make sure they caught them all. Spinning around in the midst of the chaos, Archie saw Suzumu catch one vial deftly, with one hand as well. This is really dangerous. It could break easily, I think. Many of the other gang members appear to have done the same. Damn, this dude looks hella chill while doing it. There's one more, over there! Oh, the desperate shout had come from Hitomi. Oh, okay. She had a deep voice then. She'd spotted a vial sailing in a high arc away from all the SOS members. Damn it! Archie launched into motion, ignoring the searing pain in his leg, but the falling vial was so far away. They were done for. He was sure of it. Kano. There we go. A pair of hands shot out and safely grabbed the falling vial. It was Kano. The tension drained from Archie's body. We did it. We didn't break a single one. Damn it! Kano cursed under his breath as he stared out into the throng. Alphard had disappeared. They hadn't been able to capture him after all, which meant they'd lost their last chance to get the password for the lab. They hadn't just lost, they'd failed utterly. But we did everything we could have, right? We didn't make any wrong calls. We'll just have to leave everything to Kanan. Have to trust that she'll be able to save Maria. Archie stared up into the night sky, trying to reassure himself. Please let me jump to Kanan, please. We go to Bad End from another perspective, number 73 failed capture. I'm reaching all of the Bad Ends today, so how do I do this? I don't need to jump to Archie, so the only thing left is to try out the other choice, which would lead to us dying, I guess? I don't know, maybe it's the wrong thing to do. Trying to save everyone. And condemning Hitomi, or rather Maria, I think. He had to chase after Palmer. He had to chase after Palmer. It didn't matter if he didn't grab the vial. Something about the way this was playing out made Kano sure of it. Maybe it's a fake. Maybe there's not really the Ur virus in there, you know. Calling upon all his rugby training, he broke into a sprint. Deftly dodging through the crowd, Kano kept Palmer in sight. He's a criminal mastermind, he shouldn't be the most sporty of people. He would catch him. One way or another, he was going to bring this bastard down. You know what? Grab your weapon, shoot him in the leg. Steadily he gained on his quarry. Oh, at last he drew within striking range and immediately dived into an expert tackle. He caught Palmer around the waist. Their bodies collided with violent force. Oof! Insert fucking oof. Palmer went down flailing and hit the pavement hard. Even then he tried to resist, but Kano straddled him and held him down. Ooh, sexy. Tell me the password, Kano snarled. The kidnapper sneered triumphantly. You made the wrong choice. Wrong choice? The Ua is out now. Now nobody can be saved. You've just killed everyone in the city. No! Kano shot back. Nobody's going to die! And what makes you so sure of that? The way you fled the scene just now. If the virus had really been in those vials, you could never have hoped to escape infection. Running off on foot would be pointless. Palmer said nothing. Which means there was no virus in those vials. They were just a decoy in order to buy you time to escape. Now Palmer gritted his teeth and glared up at Kano. Is he really a criminal mastermind, unmatched and unrivaled and never found? Because this is a simple bluff. The look on his face confirmed the detective's hunch. But more importantly, it was your eyes. You didn't have the eyes of a man who was putting his life on the line. My eyes? Who do you think you are, Sherlock Holmes? I know full well the look in a man's eyes when he's willing to die. In the back of his mind, Kano replayed the moment when Tateno, doused in gasoline, had marched into that financial office to talk down a would-be arsonist. Now then, the password! Give it to me, now! Kano tightened his grip on Palmer's collar, but the man just gazed back at him with an icy glare. Let me have Hitomi Osawa's blood! That was our original deal! Kano wasn't surprised. He'd known it wouldn't be easy to get him to talk. Maybe it really would be impossible to strike a deal without Kanan. But if getting her on the phone wasn't an option, Kano had to figure out something else. Sweat beaded on his brow as he cast about for ideas. Then he happened to catch sight of a car that had been overturned by an accident nearby. What? What? What's there? Gasoline had spilled from the vehicle, creating a broad, dark puddle on the pavement. Kano took out his handcuffs, then cuffed Palmer's arms to his own. Come with me. Jerking his captive back to his feet, Kano led him over to the car. What? Then, without hesitation, he sat down in the pool of gasoline. Oh, Kano, what the fuck? You don't have to imitate Tateno that much. Yanking on the handcuffs, he pulled Palmer down beside him. We're gonna burn, motherfucker. Fucking hell, Kano is crazy. Kano pulled a lighter from his pocket. Palmer snorted. And just what's this supposed to be, Tell me the password. Or else what? You'll light the gas. You'll be burned to a crisp yourself. Yeah, probably. Kano heard the casual desperation in his own voice. What the hell are you thinking? The smile vanished from Palmer's face. Kano scowled down him. I just want to know the password. I'm getting revenge for my partner. Even if I die, my friends will avenge me. Let's go for the badass line. Kano met Palmer's stare head dead on. I think it's time to bluff. We don't care about the password anymore. We're just gonna die. Palmer and Kano locked eyes, both refusing to back down. The scent of gasoline fumes filled the air around them. I love that scent, by the way. I know it's weird, but I love it. Kano knew that the slightest spark could set off a massive fireball. This wasn't information he needed, I know. Calmly, he flicked the light on. You can't be serious. Palmer's eyes fixed on the tiny flicker of flame. The password. You value your life so little? The password. In his mind, Kano could see the pages of the Dick Diary clear as day. Dick Dictum number 1. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, ever. Palmer glared in defiance. Kano brought the lighter closer and closer to the gasoline. He could practically feel his own life growing short as his hand descended. And yet he felt no trace of fear. His body was numb, his senses strangely distant. Time seemed to slow. The world around him dissolved into a blur. What's happening? What is this weird sound effect? He was surprised at how calm, how remote he felt, here in the midst of his life or death confrontation. And then, far in the depths of Palmer's eyes, he saw the barest hint of doubt. He fixed his gaze on that point of weakness and did not look away. Palmer's shoulders slumped perceptibly. Now Kano was certain of it. This was a man who'd never put his life on the line before. Shizuo's words sounded in the back of his mind. You need a cool mind, but a fiery spirit. A detective without both of those is worth nothing. Let me go. Promise to let me go and I'll tell you. Is that your answer? I don't think you quite understand the situation here. Kano brought the flame still closer to the gasoline. The fumes should be on fire already. They should spark, really. Palmer's eyes went wide. No longer was he able to hide his trembling uncertainty. He looks fucking done for. Alright, I'll tell you. Just put that thing out. The password first. His voice was a strangled snarl. Palmer gave him the password. Kano extinguished the lighter. What's the password? Tell me! I'm the omnipotent player, I should know. Pulling out his cell phone, Kano dialed up Osawa. As he did, he recalled his last exchange with Stanley at the electronics shop. There's the jump. We're gonna continue with Kano for now. Looks like we'll be able to have that beer together after all. It's not over yet, Kano, but Osawa didn't answer. Kano guessed immediately that something was amiss. Detective! Archie's voice was full of worry. I've got Stanley on the... Is it Archie? I've got Stanley on the line. He says that Detective Tateno... And there's the explosion. Boom! Motherfuckers! We're all dead. Kano didn't get to hear the rest of Archie's words. A thunderous blast hurled him to the pavement. Where had the explosion come from? His lighter certainly hadn't set the gasoline ablaze. Kano hadn't been that clumsy. So what had happened? Only one possible answer came to mind. Palmer had blown himself up. But that only confused Kano further. His captive had already given up the password. What would prompt him to set off a bomb at this juncture? He's not Alphard! He got blown up by Alphard, or someone else possibly. As he was losing consciousness, Kano continued to rack his brain, but he found no answers. Damn son. Bad end number what? 67, a mysterious explosion. Is it the one I got already? Possibly. Anyway, this time we can jump, which we're gonna do. Okay, let's fucking do this. Let's jump to Stanley. Hopefully it works immediately. and I'm not immediately stuck again on a new episode. Because I'm kind of fed up with that, to be honest. 428. It's time to finally finish you. This is probably the longest game I've played on this channel so far. Jesus Christ. There we go. There we fucking go. More Stanley background information. I'm waiting for this. Turning his attention back to the handbag, Stanley searched it more thoroughly and found a photograph tucked inside that he'd overlooked on his first inspection. What the hell? He stared at the picture, swallowing the lump in his throat. It was a photo of Maria, standing next to another young girl. There was something written in marker on the back. We know this picture, I think. Me and Canaan. 30th of July. Stanley hurriedly flipped the photo back over and looked at it again. What does this mean? She looks different. Wait a second. Canaan is not Canaan? The girl in the photo with Maria looked nothing like the Canaan who had been dead and the electronics who had left with Maria and Tateno just a few minutes ago. Does she look better or worse? Because honestly, it's harder to look better than her. But if the girl they were working with wasn't Canaan, then who was she? No. Stanley felt his blood run cold. Man, this is an entirely new fucking twist I didn't anticipate. Another body swap? Could she be? Was she Alphard? The more he thought about it, the more it all added up. Assuming Alphard were masquerading as Canaan, the whole sequence of events suddenly began to make sense. Oh, fuck no. Jesus Christ, yeah, I'm going through the events in my head. She killed basically everyone Alphard left behind to kill any traces. She was overlooking everything. She kinda got in touch with everyone. No, I've been in love with Alphard all along. I can't believe it. She was strikingly audacious and fiendishly clever, but she hadn't outmaneuvered them just yet. As luck would have it, they still had a chance to stop her. And at long last, Stanley could see the outline of Alphard's plan. Show me the real Canaan! Her goal was to get the antiviral. But extracting the DDS from Hitomi's blood wasn't enough. Okoshi Pharmaceuticals still had the drug at their laboratory. The antiviral's value came specifically from having a monopoly on it. Which meant that, in addition to obtaining the drug itself, Alphard also needed to destroy Okoshi's research facilities. Now I know why I never saw Canaan in the flashbacks with Maria. Shit, man. Should have been so obvious. You only ever saw the lower half of her face, I think. That was the crux of her plan. The problem was finding a way to infiltrate those facilities. As I said, Alphard wants to get into the lab. Again. Because he didn't manage it the first time around, kinda. In all likelihood, Alphard's scheme went something like this. Have Maria Ozawa kidnapped. Then infected with the UR virus. After that, eliminate Tanaka. Once Ozawa learned that Maria had been infected with the virus, he was certain to use the antiviral on her. But he'd need his partner Tanaka in order to access the storage facility, and Tanaka was dead. That was why Alphard had been masquerading as Kanan. Kanan was Maria's friend, and an expert at hacking passwords. He couldn't anticipate her losing her fucking memory though, could he? If she could secure Ozawa's trust, he would let her into the research facility in order to carry out the hack. That's why Alphard, in the guise of Kanan, had saved Hitomi's life repeatedly. Getting Hitomi to trust her would likewise earn the trust of her father. There were still some finer details that remained a mystery. For instance, how was Alphard going to destroy the lab? Still, Stanley could look into that once he had her in custody. He needed to move quickly and stop her from ever getting into the Okoshi facility. I fixed it. Daisuke approached Stanley and held out Maria's cell phone. Well, as best as I could at any rate. It looks like it'll get a signal, but whatever data was on it is all gone. I see. Stanley took the phone and put it in his pocket. He'd hoped he might be able to learn something useful from it, but luck evidently wasn't on his side. It also isn't on mine. If Kanan now is the mastermind, I wish all of these people would just die and leave me alone with her, please. A lonely island is all I ask for with Kanan. Just me and her. And a lot of time. He was just going to have to go up against Alphard with what he already had. Sorry for that tangent. Now that he'd guessed what was really going on, Stanley went to talk to Kano. You need to go to Scramble without me, he said. He could have... Why didn't he tell him about the whole Kanan thing, though? This would have helped immensely, I think. What? Kano was visibly shocked. Where's this coming from all of a sudden? Please, don't ask me to explain. Something else has come up, and I have to see to it. Stanley hated having to do this. He wished he could explain everything, but if he made any unusual moves now, there was a risk that Alphard would pick up on it. I guess. It was better to keep his companions in the dark, just in case. I understand, Kano said. Do what we have to, and come back soon. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you more. It's alright. I'll find a way to get by. Kano gave him the thumbs up. That's wholesome, isn't it? The sight brought back some painful memories. Up until just a few hours ago, Stanley had instinctively seen Kano as all too naive, and now he finally knew why. Kano was just like his younger brother, Frank. Flashback time! Oh, there we go! What a coincidence, right? They might have looked very different, but in the way they mixed up their responsibilities with their personal feelings, they were totally alike. Stanley couldn't discount that naivety. In the end, it was all a part of the human condition. Jack, are you really okay with this? Frank cast an anxious look at his older brother as they made their way onto the University of Chicago. I don't care about that, but Stanley looked different, Jesus. It's my responsibility to look after you, Stanley told him. As long as you take your studying seriously, I'm all for it. Frank had been worrying about tuition costs as he prepared for college. After losing their parents 5 years earlier, the two had struggled to get by. Was he a CIA agent back then already? Because I think they earn a lot of money, don't they? Yeah, but... Stanley set both hands on his brother's shoulders. Listen to me, Frank. You're my brother, and I care about you. I just want whatever you do to be something you can be proud of. Alright, Jack. I hear you. And thanks. Damn, son. Kano, promise me one thing. What's that? Once this is all over, you'll go have a beer with me. Sure, alright. That's a promise now, remember. Kano flashed him a grateful smile. Oh boy, come on. And in that smile, Stanley again saw a little something of Frank.